myself in the face.
Who you on the phone with, Mack O?
What up to Dre?
Yeah.
You got him, man.
Alright, so we'll wait for Mac, y'all. You know, it's different. You know, they get different type of parental and different additional benefits. You know, if I ever walk out in the podcast, you know, I get crucified. You know, I get
that's different.
slandered.
He was on the phone when we started. He talking about we get
Let's do it anyway.
privileges.
Hey, you guys, we're gonna be talking about colorism because
I'm still here though.
Boom.
It's been a big thing.
So we're talking today about colorism, and what's still so big about the light skin, dark skin thing. It's still an issue. Mack O say it's our fault because we make jokes about it.
We do, man. All the memes, all them
You
dark
think the
skin
memes are to blame?
We the only ones perpetuating it. White people just see niggas. We the only ones just talking about
They
light
just
skin,
see
dark
black
skin.
people.
I don't think we're the only ones perpetuating it.
Just see niggas. But my whole point is, we are the ones perpetuating. We the ones perpetuating most of our BS.
Right.
We the ones talking about newscasters' hair. We the ones going to be talking
that
about.
drives me nuts.
We the ones talking about dark skin dudes look like this and fight like
they
this.
They so dark you can't see their teeth.
Girls do this.
I will say I do make jokes. I do make the light skin jokes, and I have a lot of light skin friends. And it's just a light skin. It's just a joke.
Even in your mind, we just black.
Now would you say that's as dysfunctional as something like a mass shooter going out aiming at a particular demographic because of hatred and bitterness and bigotry versus how politics use that in order to shape a certain narrative? Even media uses that to shape a certain narrative.
I don't even understand how that
was so deep. He lost me in the question.
Okay, let me get. Okay, so
put that in paper.
How does me making a light skin joke compared to a mass shooter?
I'm gonna tell you how. Because you know how we see the news, right? And good example. Black woman gets mad. Police officer pulls over, and she says that the white police officer is racist. She does all this, hatred stuff. And then when you look back on it also, we automatically jump on it. We perceive that everybody is racist because of a narrative that's been perpetuated. And then when the news actually comes out, this woman was speeding, she was reckless driving, she was doing all this kind of ignorance. But the narrative that we've been using has been something that's been perpetuated over time without actually having physical evidence. That's what I was saying.
Okay, so what I was saying was, light skin. You
still understand that?
You're talking about this black and white. We're talking about light skin, dark skin.
It's still colorism.
We're talking about how I would treat.
So light skin versus dark skin. So we color. When we say when we say colorism, are we gonna just talk about light skin versus dark skin? Or are we gonna talk about common social?
No, we're not talking about racism. We're talking about.
I thought we were, but apparently we not. If we're gonna stick with that, we'll start with light skin versus dark skin.
Well, at least we only 3 minutes in. We at least got to get that part.
I guess we should have talked about this before we turned the camera on.
No, y'all cool.
What I take colorism as. I think colorism and racism are two different things. Colorism is within our culture that we. Growing up, my dad. I remember we was watching a Different World, and I don't remember who. Dwayne had a choice between two different girls, and my daddy said he was gonna pick Whitley because she's light skinned, and light skin is better. Now this is a man who's saying this to his brown daughter, and all his daughters are brown. Like my daddy had all light skinned women. He had all his girls are brown skin. He always married brown skinned women. So he said to me, and I think I was probably in 7th, 8th grade, that light skin was better. And that's something that it didn't really, I don't know that it affected me. I've never had an issue with being the color that I am. I've never wanted to be light skinned. But that thought process was something that was always in my head, like light skinned is better.
Do you think the society has fueled and used it as a narrative?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I've heard in Africa it's kind of the same thing, that when wealthy people prefer light skin. I've heard of decoloration, where they bleach their skin to make it look lighter, and that most people associate light skin with common wealth.
And this is all set up and being perpetuated through colonization. That's where all this comes from. It started with colonization.
Yep.
They come and decide. In Rwanda, they did the same thing. They came, they showed up. They divided these people. These are all people of the same tribe. They give them different names. You're going to be the Hutus, you're going to be this. And they had them by the size of their nose. They had a little card stick out, how far their nose stuck out. If your nose stuck out a certain distance, the longer your nose, the better, because that made you more European. And they put them people in charge. They just picked them out. We're going to put y'all in charge. We're going to put them under. Well, after a few generations, everyone naturally knows society's going to treat me better, so you're going to try to reproduce that way. You're going to try to have kids that way, and then you're going to perpetuate it. It's the same thing happening here. It's us, but right now we are the only ones doing it. They're not. If you watch the news, you watch television, light skin.
It goes back to that's that slave mentality.
It's all remnants of slavery, and we are continuing.
The slaves that were known, because we went to the
dark skinned
Whitney
kids at
plantation, and it was noted the woman who she had a scroll, like they would have books on where they're selling slaves, and the slaves that she would write by not for sale were her family. They were the slaves that were her family. She would never sell her family members. So these are people that she had value, not just because they were light-skinned, but because they were part of her family. So you know that they had, coming out of slavery, if they're not getting sold and they're still in the family, they came out of that with wealth. When it all was said and done, they came out with some form of wealth, whether it was just land or if it was a couple of horses, some mules, whatever. When slavery was over, you know that those people that she held enough value to not sell, she would have enough sense to give them something when she did let them. They had to let them go.
So they did start off at an advantage just for being light-skinned.
Just for being light-skinned, because they were her family. They were part of her.
Then we started hating.
Yeah, I was saying, I can see how that might be a thing. Like if slaves
Brown stabbed the light-skinned dude's hand. It just keep going.
And we had school days. You know, the light skin, the jigaboo. It was all colorism is real.
You's a wanna be better than me. Yeah, I right. You's a
I personally
never have nothing to do.
As Mack O thinks it's a bad thing, I don't think it's as serious as we take it now, because at the end of the day, I feel like light skin, dark skin, we're all on an even playing field.
I think the bigger deal is how you feel about it personal, how people feel about themselves personally.
I think it's a joke between us in our community, but like if somebody else, like if we were to find out that you don't get hired for a job because of your complexion.
Right.
Or just like how they said, you know, they made a point to do a survey where they put the same resume information on 2 different resumes, one's for Becky and one's for Shaquanda, and Becky was getting the job because it was automatically assumed that Becky was not going to be an African American, or she had a more European name. Mm-hmm. That type of thing is when it would become an issue as far as colorism. Now, between me and my best friends, and I'd be like, you doing some light skin. That's not, I'm not being malicious. I'm not being malicious. Right, I'm not being malicious. I'm just being.
We are jokingly perpetuating stereotypes. Let me tell you, the flip side is when someone says,
this is real coming from a comedian too.
When someone said, yeah, because everything ain't funny. When we say, you're pretty for a dark skin.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
a pretty dark-skinned girl, and things like that.
That's the same as people say you're cute for a fat girl.
Yeah.
All of those things.
So the people are going to have
they're all like little asterisks, and those are the things that people walk around with, and then subconsciously they carry those things on. And then to the point, you hear a dark-skinned dude saying, man, I would never mess with a dark-skinned girl because I don't want to have dark-skinned babies. And then you like, why would you not want to have your dark-skinned baby? But their whole thing, when I ask them, because I say the same thing, that's self-hate. And the answer to me is, you don't know what it was like growing up, hearing those jokes, hearing that stuff. Right. And I don't want my kids to go through that. Right. So it's not even self-hate. It's really more self-preservation. Right. It was back when African booty scratching, you booga booga booga. It's true. I'm sorry.
Tar babies and those type of jokes.
But those type of jokes, those are funny to me, but somebody, that sticks to them. They remember that stuff. And they get older, and so they want.
So, on the flip side, now can I propose my topic? Okay.
We just got to work on your connection. That was
a
long bridge. Usually we can stick with you. That one was so deep, you lost me. That's all I'm saying.
So me and my wife had a conversation about a white family who adopted black children, like you mentioned earlier. And a lot of white people were upset, and a lot of black people were upset, and they weren't looking at the big picture as far as the children having a home. Do you think that we perpetuate this type of hate, or is it something that's just common? Do you think it's something that can never be let go as far as how we view each other in regards to race, in regards to color, or should we let it go?
So is the question, do you think we can end racism?
Yeah.
No.
Only way is like if aliens attack or something
There's
crazy. Like it would have to be
no
something.
anti-racism.
So like I say that jokingly, but I really think it would have to be something that drastic.
Crazy.
Because if aliens attack, because then it would just be human versus non-human.
So we need a common
But
enemy.
we always need something common to dislike. I've even noticed that when I go on vacation and I leave the country, white people are way more friendly once we land in the foreign country. Like, we could not be talking or whatever. But once we get in that foreign country, not even just the white people, just Americans in general.
Okay.
We instantly become a little closer to each other.
Because you're American.
Because we're Americans.
Right.
We have a common denominator. We are American in a foreign land. So we're going to speak to each other. We're going to communicate more. On the way back, the plane
So you
ride,
think it's a
people go back to their
psychological
own
thing?
stuff. Yes,
Okay.
people look for commonalities. People
Right.
look for kinships. And we also look for divisions.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right.
So, but if you put us in a situation where we're outside the country, well, you black and I'm white, but we both speak English.
Right. Okay.
So that's our common. We're going to ignore
That
our
makes
differences.
sense.
We're going to focus on
That's
our
a good point.
commonality. If they start tripping with America,
No, we got issues.
they talking about both of us.
Right.
So as long as we here in Jamaica, we going to be cool. I'm going to speak to you every time I see you at breakfast. But them plane rides back,
We don't know each other.
everybody back to the same old shit.
That's
You
interesting.
don't know.
I don't
you
know
me.
because
That's very
that
interesting.
still doesn't have anything to do with
That's what I
colorism.
experienced. But I was just trying,
Yeah.
Because I still say colorism and racism is two different things. So I don't know.
Well, I think what Preacher's trying to say is that we are practicing our own form of internal racism by saying things like.
But what is that's what you're saying.
Well,
That's what you're
No,
saying.
I mean, I think that's
Okay.
kind of like a form of
well,
self-discrimination.
I do feel like it is.
It's definitely.
I feel
Well,
like
I
it's
say it's
a self-
prejudice.
I don't have.
They
but
both
I will
have
say I don't because I'm brown skinned. I didn't have any. I'm not a.
So you got to blend
I'm
in.
not- I'm not-
Me too.
I'm
We
not.
don't, them jokes don't bother us.
I think it depends on
Like,
what shirt I got on.
Like I was saying, being brown skinned, not being not dark enough of a hue for it to be a something to joke about. But I'm not light skinned either. I didn't grow up with that stereo like I hate my brown skin thing.
Right.
But I never. But like I said, my daddy always said light skin was better. So I, not as a hateful thing, but I just thought light skinned people were automatically
Better.
prettier. Than,
Right.
Like
I have a friend whose dad. This is an example. I have a friend who was like, man, he realized later in life that the reason why he was attracted to white women is because he heard his dad say light, bright, almost white. Like that was a complimentary thing.
Whoa.
And now to the point he became attracted to white women. But he, as he got
it was
older,
it was more so a prize
right.
to have that.
What
they considered as a trophy, that skin color.
Right,
was a
so
trophy.
we all perpetuate. I do it too.
It's kinda
I mean,
deep.
I just try to be serious about it sometimes, but I do it too. I say all the time.
Let me ask you guys
needs
this.
to get more dark skinned people in their defensive backs.
So
We
scientifically,
got too
there
many light-skinned
is
cornerbacks, and that's why we keep getting burned.
a certain. There's a certain idea perception of beauty that society tends to model that internally I think we naturally gravitate towards. So I think there's an idea.
And that changes. You could even go. That changes within generations.
That's
you
true.
could go look back of what was cute in the 70s and 80s, and it's not the same
Pam
as
Grier.
90s and 2000s.
Right,
So
'cause we went through
that
our
changes. We
soul
go through
sister
cycles.
look. That was the
Oh,
beautiful.
that was deep. That was deep.
Light-skinned and good hair.
Y'all hear that response? Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You didn't let it marinate.
Oh, you getting on my
You
nerves
ruined it.
already. God.
Get on. I don't care, T-Dot. I felt like that was deep and it was warranted.
Deep. It was deep.
And but let me tell you one thing that I do love, that I do think is helping men's, all of these things. All these people walk around with this natural hair. I love it.
I love it.
I wish it would have been
Yes.
style when I still had hair.
For your Jerry curl went bonkers.
Man, I think that's why I don't have hair. My mama should have not let me get that S curl. And I bet I would still have hair. Everybody else got hair. It's the perm and the S. I got a perm. I did a perm in my 20s too. My perm.
I don't know if that was good for us.
Nah, perm wasn't cool.
I don't think it was good for us.
I look good with a perm. Then it started falling out.
That's dope.
Okay, so make sure you let us know how you feel about colorism. Do you really think it's damaging amongst our culture to do like the memes and the little light skin, dark skin jokes? As a culture, do you think it's something that it's ours? I think because white people all they see is black, with the melanin. They don't care whether it's light skin or dark skin. So I don't see where it's all that damaging. It's just a joke between us.
Well, if we just made it just an inside joke, it would be different. But it's blended out into society. It's not an inside joke anymore. Now we gotta stop.
Oh well.
Well, we just want everybody to know everyone is beautiful in their own way. Light skin, dark skin. I heard a comedian say that they let the dark skinned kids drink out the water fountain in the bag, and they let the light skinned kids drink the box out the refrigerator.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
He just be throwing us all the way off. Like
my name is Preach.
This has been a turkey
I'm tired.
If y'all would just get in alignment, man. Get in alignment.
I'm T-Dot and I'm tired. I don't know what to
teamwork. We need some teamwork.
We're gonna take a time now. We're gonna hold up. We're gonna be better next time.
Maybe it's the heat, bro.
Yeah, the heat does make us have to rap.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
we sacrificing.
This Mack O, because he ain't said it yet.
I'm Mack O.
So what you think? Make sure you guys like, comment, share. Tell us what you think.
Do all that. If you light skin, you dark skin, you peach.
I love you either way. We love you one way or another.
We love all y'all, man. White people too. We like y'all too. Like